We all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
So let's head over to Erica.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm looking forward to the long weekend.
As we all are.
This week's app, we're focused on grilling. Grilling in the neighborhood sometimes is your first introduction if you've just moved in, and this app will help you have the ultimate cookout really easy with everything right at your fingertips. It's called Weber's on the Grill, and it is a paid app. It's $4.99, but the reviews for this app are off the charts, and it basically includes 4 of the grilling books of recipes that Weber puts out. Also includes all of the expert grilling tips and instructional videos right on the app, and they include a timer on the app that if you like a recipe and you want to use that recipe, it syncs with the timer right then and there. So it's like having a sous chef for grilling.
That's huge, because the last thing you want to be doing is getting your new neighbors, giving your new neighbors a little salmonella.
Exactly.
A little uncooked chicken.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Raw steak.
But that is really, really neat. What is generally an association board? What do they do? What does it consist of?
The most important thing to remember is that these people are volunteers. They volunteer their time. They typically have other jobs. Mm-hmm. They meet at night. They discuss and vote on financial issues that impact on the association. They prepare budgets for, some of them run into the millions.
Mm-hmm. And they hire experts to advise them as to how they should do the things Ellen just mentioned.
Sure.
Whether it comes to making budgets or hiring contractors or digging a ditch, they always need to refer to other people to find out how these things are supposed to be done. The idea behind being a board member is to preserve the property.
And hopefully enhance it and increase its value.
That's right.
But what do you advise? Do you think that it's a good idea for a buyer that's buying a brand new construction to actually do a official home inspection?
Absolutely. We kind of look at it a little differently than a standard home inspection of what I call a used house. With it being new construction, we look at it to be just like a car coming off the showroom floor. It shouldn't have any nicks, chips. We want to basically do your professional walkthrough for you and looking at anything, test everything that could be wrong. With the occupancy certificate, you're going to have everything signed off on the town for the electrical, the structural, the mechanicals, all those pieces will be signed off, so you know that they are up to today's standards, meet code. But we're looking for defects that you might not pick up on, because we're looking at everything just a little bit differently and in a little bit more detail. We had one 2 weeks ago where one of my guys inspected a new construction. Everything was completed according to the builder. When he went to fill up the jetted tub just to test it to make sure it ran, the plumber didn't hook up all the jets properly. So as the tub was filling up, all the water was shooting out from underneath the tub.
Oh, wow.
Down through the ceiling, onto the finished ceiling, downstairs, down the stairs. So the builder...
Well, no, I mean, it's great. That's a good story because, I much rather know as a homeowner that issue exists now before I close.
And before you get your stuff in there.
And before you get your stuff in there, then afterwards, and now you're dealing with a nightmare. Not that the developer is not going to take care of it. I'm sure they would, but I much rather know that beforehand.
Sometimes my clients get confused because there are buying houses out there as is. In the listing, it's you buying this house as is. And they feel that they can't get a home inspection. And if they get a home inspection, they don't like what they see, they can't walk away from the transaction. Which is 100% untrue.
Correct.
So if a house is as is, that's a huge red flag to say, get Mike Walsh in here to make sure that I go into this transaction eyes wide open.
And if you've got a good realtor working for you on your side, depending on what is found on that as is house, I've seen it negotiated many a time that they go back with the price.
So really, myth number one, and we're myth busters of real estate, I'd like to call us.
Myth.
Right? So the internet may not be the only way that you want to be able to market your property. If you are using a good listing agent, and a real estate agent that A, it's full-time, B, has dedicated their profession to the business of real estate, what are they going to do for you? They're going to be able to market to a buyer pool that is going to have appetite for that property. That's number one. Number two, they're going to do these pre-listing marketings to generate the necessary activity to now allow a much more competitive environment by buyers to be able to purchase that property. Number three, they're going to do effective pricing. So they're going to tell you what the market can bear and therefore shorten the amount of time that's going to sit on the market.
Right, because one of the biggest issues when you do a for sale by owner is you do one of two things. You price your home too low, and you leave a ton of money on the table because you didn't have the expert telling you what it's worth. Or you price it too high and it stays on the market, it gets stale, and you end up calling that real estate agent that you talked to maybe before you put the house, did it yourself. You call them and say, okay, I white flag, I concede. Now please list my house. But you've missed a ton of marketing time, carrying costs,
right?
All
and marketing time is key because you want to be able to capture the highest number of buyers, and you want to be able to shorten the amount of time that you have your property off the market.
I can honestly and confidently tell you that I think by hiring a real estate professional to list your home, you're going to actually make more money.